All right, welcome to episode 8 of Reality Rundown. I'm your host, Connor Nelson, along with my co-host, Christian Holman. If you're watching on Twitch, drop a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like, subscribe. We upload these after every episode, every night, and they're up that night, or you can watch them the next day, either one. Tonight was last week of Safety Suite.
It's nice to. It was really uneventful. Memphis looked like he was killing it. Probably would have won if he hadn't thrown it. But
Yeah.
that's a competition. That's like a dream competition for me. I've always just wanted to compete in that. Whether or not I do well, I don't know. But it'd still be fun. I'd probably sing the whole time.
But yeah, it's the last week of that. So it's day 16 in the house when the episode starts, which is kind of crazy that it's already been 16 days of Big Brother because it feels like it kind of just started.
Yeah, especially when you only see it 3 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
you miss a lot of it. I mean,
Yeah.
You watch the live feed, so it's a little less. It seems a little bit more for you.
Yeah.
But like for your casual fan, me even, it's like we've only seen it 5 times, 6 times. So
Well, eight times. It's episode 8.
I don't know how many. Episode 8. I just threw out a number, but yeah, it doesn't really feel like at all that we're watching Big Brother yet.
Yeah. So it basically just starts with Tyler talking about how Janelle and Kaser are talking about Tyler, has his name in his mouth, has Cody's name in his mouth, and it's just like, well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, they're literally terrible for my game at this point. I like them. I wanted to work with it first, but my hands are kind of tied. But yeah, I don't know. Like he talks about this a lot throughout the episode, and it's very clear that like there's no other targets for him. But later on, there's one. But at this moment, really the only people he's going to go after are Janelle and Kaser.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes after anyone else, it's going to look bad on him. The only thing he could do is use the other person, which is Devon, as a pawn, or just have it.
Or if someone comes down.
Threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has to put them up. Otherwise, he's going to rub everyone the wrong way.
Yeah. So this is also when after this it goes to David, and this is like the only time you see David in the whole episode. He's like, I'm off slop. I got off the block. I didn't go home. I did it when I was on slop. I just feel like a beast right now. And it's like, dude, you didn't do anything. What do you?
He's winning. He is winning the day. Playing the best game as of week 2 in his head. That's what he thinks. He deserves to be here. He really proved it last week by surviving the block and
he's a beast,
making it through. So I'm really proud of David for really showing that he belongs to be an all-star.
He's a beast. But from there we get I think it was it Danny that was talking about how she saw Janelle and Kaser talking with Davon and Bailey, or did that happen after this where they're all in a room and they're like, we need to get Tyler and Cody and Danny and Nicole, or like we need to get Davon and Bailey solidified into something. So they talk and they're like, we need to work together. Like this is good. This is a good group. And then they come up with the name the Slick Six, which it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest name. It's not the worst name either. So, it's what it is. It's obviously not a long-term alliance.
No.
They even said it from the very start. It's like, I don't have ties to these people. These people are just here. So it's kind of like one of those spur-of-the-moment alliances. I think the original 3 of Tyler, Enzo, and Cody, I think those 3 are going to be pretty tight. They'll probably work together. We even saw at the beginning of the episode, we got Tyler in the shower, Enzo spraying
we'll get
all over the place.
We'll get to that. Yeah, I said Nicole Franzel. It's Enzo, not Nicole Franzel. But the Slick Six is Cody, Enzo, Tyler, Bailey, Davon, and Danny. And literally as soon as they show this segment, they go to Cody in the DR, and he's like, yeah, like, I'm not staying loyal to this. Like, it's fine for now, but this really isn't my main group. Which I think that's how they kind of all feel. They just wanted to make sure that they got them in there so they're not like scheming and going with Janelle and Kaser and forming that group and them pull them in. So they were getting them first before that could happen. Which
all of those people, with the exception of Danny, I don't know much for Danny, but they all kind of already have their side hustles, like even like smaller alliances. Now, like you have Davon and Bailey, Cody Cody has Memphis, Cody has Enzo, Cody has Tyler in a sense. Yeah. Tyler has, you name it.
Everybody, basically everybody,
so, you got Danny, who doesn't really have a small alliance. She kind of has a bit of everybody,
Yeah.
or big alliances, I mean, and they kind of consist of the same people. So
Yeah, I agree with that. So then we get to the have-nots. Tyler comes out and he's like, all right, have-nots, you made it, you did great, but you have to pick someone else. And so it starts with David, and David's just like, I really want to put Memphis on slop again, but I mean, I just got to show that I'm the bigger person. Which he said, I think, on the live feeds, he was just like, I mean, if I put him back on slop, just next week, I'm going to go right back on slop. So, like, there's really no end to it. Yeah, it was a great move. Yeah, it would have been very dumb of him to put Memphis on slop. So he just freezes and he's just sitting there like looking around like, please someone just say something. And then Enzo takes the bullet and he's like, all right, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. So David picks Enzo.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like if you're on slop last week, you should go ahead and be thinking as to who you're going to be putting up.
Or talk to someone and be like, hey, do you care if I pick you? Or like, exactly, yeah, you know it's coming.
Get it figured out before the thing. That way you don't have to have like, people volunteer. Unless you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, I'll volunteer for you.
Yeah.
I'll do the thing. Okay, I look good at volunteering. That could be a strategy too.
Yeah.
But at least don't sit there like a lump on a log. Have an idea.
Yeah,
Nicole
100%.
went out. Obviously, Nicole didn't plan what she was going to
say. That's coming. That's coming.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
No. We're Kaser. So Kaser goes and he's just like, does anybody want to do it? Like anybody. And Cody's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll volunteer, whatever. So we got Enzo and Cody. Christmas goes and she just instantly goes Bailey, which where'd that come from?
I think they talked about it because Bailey had a big smile on her face. Bailey's not the kind of person who likes to be surprised.
No. Yeah, true. So, and she is not liking the slop and the have-not action. She's struggling. So I'm shocked that she volunteered for it, if they did talk about it. And
she may not have volunteered, but it may have been more like, hey, I kind of want to pick you. You haven't had it yet, yada, yada. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So then we get to Nicole, and everybody knew who she was going to pick. So she was just like, she said, what was it she said? She was like.
She said, I picked Janelle because she can't keep my name out of her mouth or something.
So yeah, something along those lines.
She likes to talk about me.
She likes to talk about me, and she can't keep her name out of her mouth or something along those lines. And Janelle is not having it.
Yeah, it was a kind of a little snarky comment. Probably didn't feel great, but at the same time, who cares? You know, it's you two have clearly been
at odds,
bad mouthing each other the entire season.
Yep, but I don't think anybody there like knew that was coming because everybody was like, "What the heck? Like, why make things awkward for no reason for all of us?"
Everyone's jaw kind of dropped. I love it. I love to see the awkward fire explosions. You know, those are great. And then I thought we were going to get something good whenever Janelle left the room. Like, I love confrontation in her DR.
Yeah, but she comes back and it was like
really
basically
say
nothing.
Anything. It's just like, oh, you didn't plan that?
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be a bigger blow up, and I was hoping there would be a bigger blow up, but it really wasn't anything. And nothing really this week has happened, but I'm hoping like the pressure starts to build and we see some Janelle going off on some people. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Janelle goes to DR after this, and she's just like, I don't like Nicole Franzel. I don't like the way she plays. She's a snake. Like, she is my number one target. I want her out of this game. I don't like living with her. I don't like the way she talks. She was mocking her. She just does not like Nicole Franzel whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel like Nicole would be hard to live with, especially if you're not actually, regardless if you're in her alliance or not, because
either way, yes, she cries all the time. She's super sensitive. You always have to like go to her and be like, "We're good." She's like, paranoid. Don't be paranoid. We're good. Yeah, I just don't know why anybody would want to work with her.
And unless you really, really like her, her voice would get really annoying real quick.
Oh, yeah, just watching her on TV it can get annoying, but. Whatever. I mean, she's won the game, so she did something right.
What matters, yeah.
She did something. So we go to Kaser and Janelle talking in the key room, and they're just like, it's me, you, and Memphis. Like, that's all we got. We got Memphis, which, how do they still think they have Memphis? I just don't understand.
Well, they realize it now, but...
Well, yeah, but at this point they didn't.
At that exact time, they're like, well, I think it was more of, instead of them thinking they have him...
Kind of just hoping,
just kind of hoping he
like
was on their side.
Yeah, because he can play in the safety suite, so like maybe there's a chance he'll use it on us and win, but that's kind of our last hope.
From that conversation, they're both already realizing, he's not.
Yeah, because as soon as they get in talking, he walks in and they're like, Memphis, is there any chance like if you win, you got to save one of us because we're in trouble. He's like, oh yeah, definitely, yeah, I'll do it, yeah, for sure. And then it goes to Janelle and the DR, and she's like, yeah, he's not gonna save. Yeah, he's 100% like not gonna save us. But yeah, this is when we get to the bidet conversation with Enzo. So there's literally a whole thing about, I think Kaser requested a bidet, and Enzo clearly has never seen one, used one, really knows what they are, and he goes in, he uses it, doesn't know what's going on, jumps up, and the water just goes everywhere, and doesn't clean it up, just walks out like nothing happened, and Cody walks in behind him, and there's water everywhere. And Enzo's like, I didn't pee on the seat. Like, it's the spritz water.
Yeah, it was hilarious. That was a very funny situation. I mean, Cody, you got to wipe the seat before you sit down. That's boys' bathroom.
Especially if it's all over the floor and the wall. Yeah. Like it's gonna be everywhere.
On the door.
Yeah,
it's on the doorknob. Like, I mean, I've never used a bidet. I've always wanted to use a bidet, but now I'm kind of worried. Like, is it too hot? I mean, is it gonna? Maybe it's painful. I don't know.
But no, Enzo's the best for bringing this the entertainment to the season, because I feel like he's like the only one like joking around and.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Kaser is this is like now the next segment is all about Kaser and Janelle's friendship from season 6 on, and really like they said, they're nothing alike. Like, for them to be as close as they are and them to work with each other every season they play together, like, it doesn't make any sense, because they're the complete opposites.
Yeah, they always get along really well. They're always each one's number one, as they said, and it never works out for them.
No,
so maybe,
never. Literally never.
Maybe they should try to distance them. Should have tried. Maybe in Janelle's 5th season, on All Stars Big Brother season 45, we can see Janelle and Kaser maybe not be so close.
Well, you would think, like, especially because I know they're going to be targeted, if, like, which I get, they probably thought there was going to be some other big targets in the house, and there was only a couple that came in that were kind of, like, huge targets.
And they instantly got together.
Yeah, and they were instantly like this, like, couldn't be separated. Like, you would think that they would kind of part and just know, like, hey, we're good. Like, this is going to work. And just, like, talk on the side and be like, I'm just going to stay away, keep my distance. Like, you get your group, I'll get my group. Or, like, maybe our groups will come together. But we can't be seen as, like, this big pair, even if they think we are.
Yeah. I mean, especially at the beginning of a game, a pair can be more – at any point in the game, a pair can be more threatening than a known alliance to a lot of people. Like, everyone in the house knows of that four-person alliance. Whether they deny it or not, everyone, I'm sure, sees it to some degree. But yet they're still more worried about Janelle and Kaser, who haven't won anything yet.
It's way easier to break it, like get into an alliance, like a 4 or 5 person alliance, and split that up than it is to break a pair. Like, there's no way like you're gonna get in between a pair. Like, you might, but it's very, very hard, especially one like Janelle and Kaser.
Yeah, and then also there's benefits of breaking it up, because then they need someone else to. They're alone, and people that are alone in the house tend to look for whatever companionship they can find.
And it doesn't help that Nicole basically screwed them over with just telling everything she could as soon as she could to everybody about how Janelle and Kaser, what they were saying, who they were talking about, who they were targeting, and then Nicole goes home. So that didn't help them at all, but didn't do them any favors. And them trying to get Kevin out of the house and then needing Kevin the next week. And Kevin's just not having it, so I don't know.
Yeah, they've mismanaged their game a little bit. I'm hoping for POV on Wednesday. We get to see one of them come off and get a replacement.
I would like to see. Yeah, I would definitely like to see Janelle win it. But again, we'll get to that because we haven't seen the nominations yet.
Oh, I didn't say. Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's pretty obvious what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it was coming even before the episode. But after the whole Janelle, Kaser, like, their history, they showed flashbacks of season 6, season 7. Like, it goes to Tyler, Christmas, and Cody in the HOH room, and they're just like, Tyler's like, this is an easy week. Like, they did this to themselves. They drew this up, and here they are. Like, what did they expect? And really, like, what can they expect? Like, they can go up and talk to him, but there's, like, you guys both were like, we got to get Tyler and Cody. Like, Tyler is a threat. We got to get Tyler. We got to get Tyler. We got to get Cody. Like, what is he like? There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, and even if everybody wants him gone, so it's like appease everyone in the house or just appease you two. Now what they could possibly do is maybe they find out someone in the alliance who is going astray. You could maybe create some doubt, and what you're going to do is maybe not this week, but maybe next week you can create some doubt and cause some problems in their alliance. But
Yeah.
you're not really going to save yourself from going on the block. You may get backdoored, but
yeah. And we'll get to the conversations that Janelle has with them about that. But after this, Danny comes up and talks to Tyler, and she's like, "Listen, I saw Janelle, Kaser, Davon, and Bailey all talking in the love room, and I sat and like you could see her, like they showed her with her ear up against the door, like listening to everything they were saying, talking about how like they've got to get through this week and like the next couple weeks we've got to like start making big moves." And she's like, I just doesn't feel right with me, especially since we just made the alliance with them. Like clearly there's some distrust, and they're like starting to push away and go to that other side. And this is the start of like them really doubting Davon.
Yeah, you would think at what point are people going to quit having meetings in the love room or whatever room?
Literally the room that everybody has to go about to get to the bathroom. So everybody's going to be walking through there.
Literally every single season, multiple times a season, you have someone overhearing a conversation, put their ear up next to the door. Do it in any other room.
Well, like Cliff last year, doing the Cliff Notes in there. Like every morning he would be in there. He would spill his entire game, who he's working with, who he doesn't like, who he's going after, and everybody knew it because they were just sitting there listening to him. So it's like, clearly you should know, like, don't be talking in that room. Like, wait, do it outside, do it in the bedroom, do it wherever, just don't do it there. It just doesn't make sense.
And do it in the living room, do it in the living room where
see who's coming. 100%. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, it goes. So she goes on, and Danny clearly doesn't like Davon. Like it's very clear that she doesn't want her in the house. She doesn't like her. She doesn't trust her, and she's starting to put that doubt into other people's heads.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other reason for her not to trust her before the conversation, but yeah, it's really obvious. Before she was talking to the other group, but it's really obvious that that's
Danny's not feeling her.
In that video that we saw of Davon talking to all four of them, Nicole Anthony was in that room, if I'm not mistaken. Or there was a fifth person. There was a fifth person in that room.
Maybe I'd have to go back and look. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that was. It may not have been Nicole, but I could have swore I saw that. I was like, I thought Nicole went home. Yeah. So,
I can't imagine they would do that, but maybe.
HOH though.
Yeah, there's a chance. But so after this talk that she has with Tyler, it's time for the safety suite. And the people that can play in the safety suite this week are Nicole, Memphis, Enzo, and Danny. And so the clock comes up. They have an hour to decide. And Davon's just running around like, Enzo, if you win this, like, you can save me. Like, I want the punishment. What? Like, clearly that's a red flag, like, immediately. Like, no one's going to volunteer for a punishment unless, like, you want to show, like, goodwill.
It's not exactly a punishment. So, like, labeling it a punishment is kind of bad. It is a wrong way to label that because you're wearing a costume or you're doing an act or something.
But it's still like you don't like.
It's still the idea of volunteering for it, kind of begging for safety.
Especially when like you just got into an alliance with the current HOH. Like there's no reason you should feel like you need it, and if you do start throwing that out, like it's clearly gonna seem like you don't trust like people in power, even if that's the route you go.
If we're in the real world, it's probably okay. But you're in the Big Brother house where if you fart the wrong way, people are going to think you're trying to vote them out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what you do. Like you got to be really cautious of everything you do. So when you start acting paranoid in any way, people notice it and it kind of scares you.
So after she goes to Enzo, she goes to Danny and she's like, same thing. Like if you win it, you can pick me. Like I want the punishment. I want to do the punishment. Don't like you can pick me and there'll be no problems. Like I won't be mad. I want to do it. And instantly Danny's like, oh, perfect. Like I'm so glad you're telling me this. So she runs up to Tyler and she's like, Davon's acting really paranoid. Like, I don't know why she wants it so bad. Like, clearly she doesn't trust you. And she's definitely pushing, like, and she doesn't really let him know that she said that she wanted to have the punishment. So she's definitely playing it up like she definitely doesn't trust you, Tyler. Like, this might be a problem. Which I think is a good game move for Danny.
I think it was really smart to do that. She didn't actually say. She let Tyler lead the conversation for the conversation she was wanting to have.
Yeah.
And that's really important to do in the house, where you make people think it's their idea, regardless to if it is or not.
Yeah. And then if Tyler was looking to get Danny out sooner than later, now he's gonna be looking to get Davon out and then go to Danny. So like that buys Danny a little more time, and really it helps her a lot. With her doing nothing. Well, no, but they've both kind of been like, we need to get them out sooner than later because they're both her and he are both saying back and forth like they're threats, like not to each other, but like they're just saying like to different people, like we need to watch out for this. So that might buy Danny a little more time. Like she doesn't know that, but like it's still like it gives her a couple weeks at least before he goes after her.
Definitely, yeah, or potentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we get to the safety suite. We have Nicole scanning first, Memphis, Enzo, and Danny. And I don't understand, like, there's 4 people playing. Clearly they're all going to play. Why did they wait till the last second?
You get an extra hour to strategize, talk about decisions, think about things. Big producers or production may also be like, the timer's going to tick down regardless.
Yeah, maybe.
You're playing. Yeah. Just wait.
Yeah, maybe.
Because production even edited it, so it seems like people are contemplating possibly not using it.
But they're definitely,
yeah, like you had Nicole. I think Nicole definitely said it. I think Danny said it too, where it was, I saved it last week, so I think I probably should play it this week. Even it was like, yeah, obviously.
You're obviously gonna play it, yeah. Like there's no reason you wouldn't.
I don't know why production wanted to do that. They must have They must not have had much to throw into an episode.
Yeah, I mean, most of this episode was filler, so I think it was very clear that they didn't have much.
Yeah.
But so Nicole goes first, and the safety suite is a bunch of lasers. I forgot what it was called. I didn't write it down. It was something about. Yeah, I don't know. I missed it. But there was just a bunch of lasers in the room, and it was dark, and they had to get to like all the way around the room and get to the safe, get this huge ball, like a exercise ball, yeah, and then go back through the lasers to the other side. And so Nicole, like at first, she's like, this is not good for me. Like I'm gonna do terrible. Like at first, so she starts, and it's very clear. At first she looked like she's gonna be decent. She gets she gets through. She gets the ball, and when she gets the ball, it's like, oh no, like you're not winning this.
Yeah, that was a really bad performance. So it would be again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I would love to do that. That's literally like, it'd be so fun. Get to play like you're a spy. That'd be so much fun.
Yep. And honestly, like for Nicole, like I get why she doesn't seem like a target, because every competition she's terrible. Like she can't win anything.
Not competitive.
No. So like that's why people look at her like, oh, like we'll just get her whenever, because it's not like she's gonna win anything. Like who cares?
Yep.
So,
but in the meantime, she's also in people's ears, powerful people's ears, all causing issues. Mm-hmm. So people don't understand that because they're in the house not seeing it. But as a viewer, you can clearly see that regardless of winning competition, she has impact on the house.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Memphis goes second, and he's breezing through it, and he gets the ball. And I really think he would have won this thing, but he clearly didn't want to.
I think he would have been under 3 minutes.
Yeah, he definitely, like, it was clear, and he even said, he's like, I'm throwing this. Like, I don't want to win this. So he gets to the middle, like, he's on his way back, gets to the middle, and he's like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to sit. Like, I think he literally said at one point, like, that's 5 minutes. Like, it should be good. And then after he said that, he laid down. So he was like, he was there forever.
14 minutes.
Yeah, and so he gets done. He gets to the end. He's like, Enzo, if you can't beat this, like, I don't know what to tell you. He buzzes in. And so then Enzo goes, and he did pretty good. Like, before you even see his time, it looked like he was doing pretty good.
Yeah, Enzo blew through it as well. With Memphis, I don't know why he sat in the middle of the room. Why didn't he at least advance to the very end of the room? Just, Yeah,
and just wait.
At the very end, if he hits it, he may mess up the next 16 times and get timed out because. So just, I don't know. Why not get to the end?
I think there was a chair over there too. He could have just sat on.
Exactly.
So I don't really know. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But maybe just for show. I don't know. But Enzo went, and he looked good the whole time. I mean, there's really no problems for him. I think he hit the lasers once that they showed. He may have done more. I don't know. And then Danny goes, and it showed her struggling a little bit, but definitely better than Nicole Franzel. So that's really the safety suite. There's really not much more to it.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it.
Yeah. So they get to the where everybody's done. They get all in the living room, seeing the scores or the times. And Nicole's time was the first one shown, and she did it in 15 minutes and 36 seconds. Which, when you see the other scores, terrible. Like, she did it. And I really feel like she was, like, trying. Like, I don't think she threw that. Like, I think she was just that bad at it.
No, she's not athletic or... Which, she's very aware that she's not coordinated in any way. So, yeah, that's definitely not her competition.
So, Memphis time second, 14 minutes and 33 seconds. Very clear that he threw it. Like...
Yeah, which, for as clear as it is, he at least didn't do as bad as Nicole, who was trying.
True. But when you see the other times, it's like, dude, like, did you even attempt to? So, Enzo's time, 4 minutes, 41 seconds. So, again, when you see that time compared to 15 minutes and 14 minutes, it's like, how is, like, you either threw it or you're really, really bad. And for Memphis, like, come on. You threw it. And then Danny's time was 6 minutes and 4 seconds. So close, but Enzo had it pretty easy. And so, with him winning, he has to pick someone to be safe, but they also get a punishment. So he stands up, and Davon really thought she was getting picked. Like, she was like, oh, he won. Like, I'll talk to him. He's going to pick me. Like, this is happening. And he stands up. He's like, Christmas. And Davon is not happy.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo made the nice list this year. He saved Christmas.
Which, again, I don't understand that. Like, Christmas, you were safe. You're working, like... You have a final 2 deal with the HOH. Like, why do you want it? Like, why would you want the punishment if you don't?
Well, she didn't ask to be saved.
True, but like, no, she didn't. But like I'm saying, like, why would you? I would not be like glad that he picked me if I knew I was safe. Like, I would act like I was glad to him, but in the DR, I'd be like, I'm pissed that he picked me.
I mean, it's still nice to have safety. The punishment's not a real punishment. Again, it's a punishment, as Danielle said earlier, and I don't know. It's really not too bad. You are guaranteed safety. It's not like you can mess up, say the wrong thing, and get backdoored now.
Maybe.
So you at least have that.
Maybe, yeah.
Which I'm sure Christmas worries about getting backdoored because she's a very good competitor.
Yeah, true. So then we get to where are we at?
Picking Christmas.
Oh, we get back to
and Davon was pissed.
Yeah. So we get back to the them talking about how Davon, like, it's very clear, like, they saw how mad she was that she wasn't picked. So I was like, that shows me that she doesn't trust me whatsoever. Like, Davon doesn't like me, doesn't trust me. Like, clearly we got to watch out for that.
Yeah, I mean, Davon she's so expressive. So that's like her biggest downfall in the game, where you know how she feels 95% of the time. I don't know how she's a professional poker player because she's so expressive.
Yeah.
So
it's very clear that she was not happy at all. But after this, Kaser comes up, or Kaser I think was just chilling in the HOH room, and Tyler walks in. He's just sitting there, looking like he just woke up, and they talk, and he's just like, "I respect your game, Tyler. Like, I know like what you're probably gonna do, and like I get it." And Tyler's like, listen, at the start of this game, I was, like, closer to you than anybody, but, like, you started throwing my name around, you paired me with Cody, and you didn't want to work with me, but, like, I really wanted to work with you. And he's like, well, I mean, going forward, like, I definitely would want to work with you, and, like, we could make something happen. And he like, owned up to basically everything. He's like, yeah, like, it happened. Like, he didn't say he did not talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been caught, there's no point in hiding it at that point.
But we get to right after this, Janelle comes up, and she's like, "Oh no, I wasn't talking about you. Your name wasn't in my mouth. I was Nicole Franzel was the only person I was going after."
Which may or may not be fair.
It's not true at all.
Which it's at least beneficial in the arguments with Nicole. And her argument at the beginning of the week or earlier in the week, I think Tyler would try to work with whichever one stays this week.
Yeah, I think he'll try to reel him in because, I mean, they're going to have nobody, and it's going to be really easy to be like, okay, let's keep this on the down low. Like, I'll keep you safe, you keep me safe. Like, I'll talk to the people that I need to talk to and then see what happens. But I definitely don't see either one of these, like, people going far.
Yeah, I think the best thing that can happen for either of their games, Kaser and Janelle, is for the other one to be evicted. Because that way they are at least not paired up with someone initially, and they're able to play their own game.
Slide under the radar, and not be this huge target. I 100% agree. But, yeah, the talk with Janelle and Tyler, it really goes nowhere. He's just like, listen, like, there's really nothing I can do. Like, the whole house wants you guys up. I got to do it. Like, he didn't full on say that, but he's like, you guys they know they're going up. And they should have known before that, but there they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them both off the block. I like them.
I like them both. Yeah, it sucks.
I want to see them have the chance to play or at least just mess up the house. That's what I want to see. But it doesn't look
like if either one of them would have gotten HOH this week, it would have been a lot of fun, I feel like.
Oh, that would have been crazy. Both of those big alliances would have been just completely destroyed.
Or even at the start of the game, if Tyler would have worked with Janelle and Kaser and him brought a couple of his, like David, Christmas, Tyler, Janelle, Kaser, Nicole A., Kevin. Like if them 7 worked together, like at the start and like versus the other side of the house, I think it would have been a lot more interesting to see where things would have been now instead of it's basically one side of the house is just steamrolling.
Yeah, and that's how it's been the last couple seasons where we just had this one big alliance with really good players on it, and they just kind of control everything.
Yep. But if you're Tyler, like on his season, it worked for him. And I don't think he went into the season like wanting to do that, but it kind of just fell into his lap, and he's just like, well, here we go again. Like,
yep, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, when God gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I think
I mean,
when someone gives you lemons, I don't know.
When people come up to you and it's like, hey, you want to work together? Like, does this sound good? You're not going to say no. And if you do say no, like Kaser did and Janelle did, that's when you get in trouble. And that's whenever you're at the bottom of the house and you're getting voted out.
Yep. That's why you got to agree to everything and promise nothing. You know, it's just kind of.
Yeah. So we get to, right after this, we get to the nominations. And Tyler clearly puts up Janelle and Kaser, and he's just like, you guys tried to flip the votes on Kevin. You guys tried to flip the votes on David. You guys have had your name, like my name in your mouth all week for the past like 2 weeks. So really, there's nothing else I could have done. Sorry. Which, I mean, it's true.
Fair, you know?
Everything he said was true. So I mean, they did it to themselves, which it sucks. Again, I like Janelle and Kaser. I want them to be there, but if what I'm doing in the veto, they're going home.
Yeah, they've really mismanaged their games. They got to win the veto.
Yep.
If one of them can win the veto, there's a possibility of the other one staying. It's extremely unlikely.
Yeah, no.
But there is a possibility because Big Brother, you have to always expect the unexpected, as Julie will tell you 47 times this season. But
I do feel like if they stay the same, Janelle is 100% going. I feel like she's definitely the bigger target. Yeah, but I wish Janelle would stay. But yeah, it'd be great for Kaser. Yeah, but I would much rather see Janelle stay because she's more of a wild card. She's more of someone that's gonna like stir the pot, and Kaser kind of sits back and.
Kaser's a lot more strategic than Janelle.
Yeah.
While Janelle's a lot more
hot-headed and yeah.
And he's the brains, she's the bronze. That's really kind of how it is in that.
But it never works for them.
They're both smart, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, I agree. But that's basically the episode. A lot of filler, a lot of just nonsense. But this veto should be a lot of fun if Janelle or Kaser can pull it out. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially if Janelle pulls it out, because I think everybody in the house wants Janelle gone. So that'll kind of throw a wrench into things. But that's all I got.
Yep, my heart and mind is clear.
Well, thanks for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, like I said, please subscribe, leave a like. If you want to watch this live, we go live after every show, about 15-30 minutes after, at twitch.tv/reality rundown. And we will see you Wednesday night.